super exciting. They look so good. Good morning. Today we are doing something super exciting. I don't know if you guys have seen the like tall ship races that have been going on. I'm not exactly sure where they've all been, but they are coming to Scotland and they are going to a city that is like a little bit a ways from where I stay, so I got to travel a bit to go there, but it's gonna be super fun. So yeah, I'm going with my friend, so she's gonna pick me up soon and then we're gonna drive there. Yeah, I'm so excited. There's like a whole big thing, which is really exciting because there's not usually much that goes on in Scotland that's too big. So yeah, having all these ships come from like different parts of the world and the fact that they're like old-fashioned, like honestly makes me think of Pirates of the Caribbean. There's like loads of like festivals or like stalls, like food stalls, kids play on like one street and then the others have like stages. But yeah, we are gonna go and walk around the whole place to see that, which I think will be super fun. So yeah, the weather is not the best, of course. It's been sunny all week, but I think the weather there is going to be raining because it's raining here. Typical Scottish weather for you. I was gonna wear a dress, but then the weather went weird. So instead I've decided just on this like sports bra and then these leggings, and then on my feet are just this pair of crusty ass grey New Balances. But yeah, my friend is gonna get here soon, so I actually better get ready. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun time. You go. Yeah. When I was at this coloring in, well, this one kid was like, oh, can I help you color in your picture? And I was like, yeah, sure. And this is his contribution, so thank you so much, Josh, for your help.
Yeah, go on in.
Come on! Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh wow. They look so good.
God.
That's so fun. Okay, so I'm finally back from the tall ships. They were so cool, but it was so busy. Anywhere you looked, like you couldn't even move because there was just hundreds of thousands of people there, which was crazy, but it was nice to have something like that in Scotland for a change, so it was pretty cool. But anyways, there was loads of like food stalls and stuff, so I did get some goodies. I don't usually buy like loads of cakes and stuff, but I thought I was gonna treat myself, so I did get this from like a bakery stall. It's like white chocolate and raspberry like flapjack, which is super yummy. And then this is definitely, I never buy fudge, so this is from the Great British Fudge Company. They're like these big chunks, so this is like a Snickers, and then ooh, Ferrero Rocher. There's also an orange fudge. So I'm super excited to eat these. I also went to Primark because I was looking for a hoodie. So it's this green hoodie and it's got this print on the front, which I love. And then the back, it's so cool. It's got these like postage stamps on them. So this is a horrible angle, but this is the hoodie on. And then this is the back, and it's like super comfy as well, so yeah. And then this, I'm super excited about this. I was walking past this like random shop. He had like wooden carvings, so I got this. So I'm not sure what kind of wood this is, but it says the name of the city that I was in visiting, and then it's got a picture of the tall ship, and then it says Tall Ships 2025, and it's like engraved, like you can feel it. So I just got this as a little commemorative like plaque thing. So yeah, it was a really good time, and I ended up running into my friend and her boyfriend, so I did get to walk around with them. But I think I'm gonna go back tomorrow because you could get on the ships, but like the queues were insane. Definitely gonna go back there tomorrow and do that because I really want to go on the boat. I think it looks so fun. But yes, I'm gonna go and chill for the rest of the day, and I will put in some more clips from tomorrow if I end up going, if it's not raining. Fingers crossed. That was eventful. I am so glad that I decided to go today. I managed to get on a few ships. I got on the Peruvian one and I got on the Polish one, I think it was. Yeah, the story time from the Peruvian one is so funny. So I've been like walking around the ship and then there was like this like porta cabin. You could like go through the door and it had like Peruvian culture stuff like about. So when I was in there, like I just got in the door and then there was two crew members, like maybe like 20 to 25, I'm not too sure. And he was like, you can just stand there and I'll take your picture, like on his phone, so not even my phone. I just went into this room and he was like, yes, I'm gonna take your picture, just stand here and I'll take your picture. I was like, okay. So I stood in front of some Peruvian artifacts and then he was like, and now stand over here. So I stood over there and he was just taking pictures and I had no idea what was going on. So it was really funny. I had like had a wander around the room and I came back and I was like, oh, are the pictures like okay? And he was like, oh yes, here, like showed me the pictures on the phone. And then he was like, we'll be putting them on our Instagram page. I was like, okay. But yeah, they were so lovely. Then later on when I was walking past the cemetery, I'm like, I think the last clip I filmed was in the cemetery and then I turned around because this man like started talking to me and I was like, crapped myself. And he was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, sorry, you just scared me. Literally, it was like a foggy cemetery and then I just did not expect this man to sneak up on me. But anyway, he was lovely. He was like an older man and he was decked out in all the tall ships like gear and he was from the Netherlands and it was so interesting because he was actually the cook on the ship, which was so awesome. And then so we got to talking and he was saying how like try to cook on the ship. There was one time, like obviously the sea's going like this and then he said he was making pizzas and then it just went woof, flying off the table, and other stuff that was on the wall just fell into the bin. And I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, he was just telling me about that and him sliding all over the floor, which I just thought was funny. So yeah, he was away get a tattoo. He was on the boat. He'd been sailing around. Honestly, he was legendary. Wish I got a picture with him, but yeah, we were too busy chatting. So made a friend from the Netherlands, made friends with these Peruvian crew members. So yeah, honestly, it was so fun. And I'm actually glad I went by myself, because I feel like when you're with other people, you don't really talk. Like random people, or you wouldn't be in the same situation that just like two people to meet and you're just like talking because you're both by yourself, you know what I mean? So yes, that was so fun. And then when I was in the Aberdeen Maritime Museum, I got this little coaster. So this is like, seems to be the official artwork for the tall ships. But yes, that was $4.99, which I think is pretty decent for a coaster, especially one with like branded. So it does say the tall ships up there. I did not expect the day two to be an actual full day of just filming everything and like a massive story time. So yes, this video is probably longer than I expected, but it was so worth it. Like, I feel like if you're gonna have this experience, then you should just document everything so you can watch back on it and be like, oh, I remember all this stuff that happened. Oh yes, but I hope you guys had a fun time joining me, and I hope all of the ship footage did not get too monotonous for you guys. But yeah, I'm just kind of obsessed with ships, as you can tell. Unfortunately, there was no black pearls in the harbor, but I did get to see one of the boats actually sailing with their sails up before some man put his big fat head in front of my camera. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.